All right, it's now time for Collision. Collision. All right, before we get started, I do have to say this. The Rock video has been done. I did my Gump report on The Rock and what I thought about it. I have not edited it yet. Hopefully I'll have it done by tomorrow so I can upload it maybe Sunday or Monday. I don't know. I got something I got to do tomorrow. At least I'm going to try to do it. But I'm hoping Sunday I'll have it uploaded so you can look at it. So look for it. You should be able to see it. Now, what did we get in Collision? A decent show. Did I understand most of what was going on? No. Due to the fact that I didn't see Rampage, I didn't know what was going on. At least I didn't see Rampage last week, and I didn't see Collision last week, so I didn't see Rampage this week. And even though I watched Collision, I'm missing a couple of things. But I'm not going to tell you it was total trash. It was not a bad show. First, which I'm still not fond of, Continental Crown Proving Ground match. Really? I don't know if Eddie himself is doing this. I don't know if he said, I want to defend this damn thing all the time. Or Tony said, I want to defend it every time like this. It's upsetting. You have someone who holds 3 freaking titles in your company. 3. One of them is from another company, and 2 of them are from your company. And instead of making it mean something special, having him only defend it at certain times. You're almost having him defend every other week, almost every week. And that's the kicker, that if he's not defending it on Collision, he's defending it on Dynamite, or he's defending it on Rampage, and he could do it twice in a week, within a few days of each other. And I'm going like, really? Everyone loves Eddie Kingston. Everyone cares about Eddie. But why not make it mean something special? That the title doesn't feel important now. Instead of the Continental Crown being important, it feels like when when we had Pac as the first All-Atlantic champion, it should have been important, but it wasn't because he was defending it constantly instead of making it important. Then we got the International Championship, which was the All-Atlantic, and now I will say this. When it came to Orange, I can understand they really wanted to put Orange over and made him defend it. But why are you making everyone do the same damn thing? A Proving Ground match? Are you seriously taking something from ROH, which was supposed to be exclusive to Athena, who did get mentioned by Swerve, and I will get to that in a few minutes. It was exclusive to Athena, that Proving Ground match concept. Why are you putting it on Eddie? It angers me that you should have left it and made him feel important. Give us more than just great matches with Eddie Kingston. He is one of the best talkers you have in your damn company. Why are you not utilizing it? Why? Why? What the fuck is their damn malfunction? If you don't know what movie that's from, that's Full Metal Jacket. What the fuck is your malfunction? And the guy goes, boof. I'm not saying that was a good movie. It was a great movie, but it's violent, I'm telling you. But that line is in there, like, you got an idiot who literally just can't get anything done correctly. That's a Full Metal Jacket. And it's like with Tony, or whoever's talking to Tony, he should not be putting the New Japan Pro Strong, the ROH champ, and the Continental Champion constantly being shown. There are times when it's alright to give a few good matches, but not constant. It takes away from the gift of him. And this is the thing. Eddie is so over. That is what we love about Eddie, but not always about him wrestling. He's one of the best talkers. He's got one of the best characters. And they're not doing anything. Now, mind you, he was with Brian Keefe, the bounty hunter. I'm not going to tell you the match was bad because the actually was pretty good. But now Brian Keefe is All Elite Wrestling. He lost the match to Eddie, which I'm not surprised. But he is now an All Elite wrestler. Now the question is, how long is that? A year? 10 months? 6 months? It depends on what type of contract he signed, because I do know they have a 6-month contract. I do believe that, I think they got a 3-month contract, which would be for the low shows like ROH, or used to be Dark and Dark Elevation. Then they have a 6-month contract, and then they have a year contract, or a year beyond that, that's a multi-year contract. So who knows which one he signed. Maybe it's a year contract, you never know. So Tony Giovanni gets into the ring. He clearly wanted to make it important that Eddie was there, but Eddie wanted to focus more on Brian Keith because he knew. And then we get a Bryan Danielson coming out. He shakes Brian Keith's hand. He doesn't say anything to Eddie, even though you hear Niles McGuinness basically giving an attitude like he thinks that Bryan Danielson's nothing but a fraud. And then we get the guy from, here we go, CMLL. Now, here's the problem. CMLL. I've heard of it at least once, that promotion, but I've never seen it. And now you're beginning to do something with it, but clearly you didn't think enough to put them on Dynamite to actually promote them. In other words, have a segment. Sometimes you can't just throw a match out there or just have a feud with someone from another rival company unless you say something about it. You didn't on Dynamite even introduce these guys until they started a fight, practically. And here, we didn't even get a vid pack from, what is the guy? Hiroxito, or whatever his name is. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce his name because I've never seen him before. Suppose he's one of the best technical wrestlers in Mexico from MCLL. And I won't tell you that he isn't damn good, because he was when he went up against Bryan Danielson. There were some moves in there that I have not seen since I was a little kid. When I remember as a kid, yes, I saw mainly WWF. But there were other times I did see WCCW or WCW, the older version from the 80s, not the 90s, which had Eric Bischoff, the older one before they had to crash. And I think at least a couple of times I saw Mid-Atlantic Wrestling. They had some really good technical wrestlers, and I haven't seen that type of style in a long time. Haven't, because not many people do that type of style. So seeing it was quite interesting. It was quite good to see that type of style being shown, highly technical. It wasn't even about being heavily physical. It was about trying to do catch-as-catch-can style type of wrestling, and that is the Mexican style of catch-as-catch-can. I found it very good. But here's the thing. Even though Bryan Danielson won by a roll-up, even though you did have Helicizito, I believe, beat down on him, and then Claudio coming out and saving him, it looks like you may have a fight between him and Claudio. Where's the vid pack? I want to know more about CMLL so I can understand who this individual is. There's nothing. I can say when Impact Wrestling was around, I gotta bring it up. When Impact Wrestling was around, when they worked with Pro Wrestling Noah, they got some courtesy videos from them. When they worked with New Japan Pro Wrestling, at least you saw some of the people and what they did. What are we doing here in AEW? Not even showing the other companies that you're supposedly doing something with, and show some of their footage. Not that it has to be long. No one's talking about showing full episodes, but at least give us a snippet of what this place is like and what this wrestler is. And I didn't get nothing, so I don't feel anything. Moving on. This one, I'm like, really? Hook versus the Outrunners. Not Hook with RVD. No, Hook versus the Outrunners. They're trying to show that Hook is so freaking tough, even though he got his ass whooped by Samoa Joe. And I do believe it was Tony Giovanni, not Niles and McGuinness, that said this, that he is now in the main title scene. Really? Really? He's still holding FTW title. Until he drops that title, he's not in the main title scene. He's still he is well under the international championship. As long as he holds the FTW title, it's a joke. I'm sorry. It's a joke. He has to drop that title and then move on. He's not in the main title scene. He's not. I'm not saying he was bad working against Samoa Joe, but no. It's a joke. Now, let's make it clear, seeing that they're trying to build him up, that's a great thing. But he needs to, either they need to retire the FTW title, retire it, or he has to drop it. Drop it flat out and let someone else have fun with it and learn from it and hopefully grow from it. I'm just saying. Now, I think this might be the title of my video. She's finally here for me. And that is Serena Deeb versus Aminata. Queen Aminata. I think Aminata? Nita? Queen Abanita. I believe that's it. Queen Abanita from West Africa. Interesting, they said West Africa. Now, it doesn't mean she isn't from West Africa. She probably is. But it's interesting to hear that she's from West Africa during the time of Black History Month. Isn't that wonderful? I'm being a little sarcastic, but it doesn't mean I'm being disrespectful. Look, every black person can easily say that they were shipped from West Africa. Even my ancestors were from West Africa. I'm sure of it. At least they came through there. If they weren't West African, they were from somewhere else, and they were brought to West Africa. But let's make this clear. Was this a bad match? No, because Serena Deeb's made it important. Look, I was waiting for Serena Deeb. I did not see her first match. I didn't. So this match to me is her first match, even though she already had a first match. It's a second match. And I wanted to see what they're going to let her do. And hopefully that she's all right. Remember, Serena had not one, not two, but 3 seizures. Back to back to back. 3 seizures. In one form or another. And I am just glad that she even can function normally. I'm not saying that I don't want to see her wrestle. I love seeing a woman wrestle. I kind of wish she was still heavy-chested, but as many people have said, sometimes that type of thing really interferes with their back. It doesn't give them the best quality of life. And I understand why she did a breast reduction. And I'm glad she did what she needed to do for herself to make her happy. But she was sexy when she was big-chested. But she's still sexy here. And she proved she can still go. And I'm not going to say Queen Nita was bad. But you can tell that she's okay, but she's still a bit green. She was a bit sloppy. And Selena had certain situations where she had to try and compensate. And that made her a bit sloppy. So it wasn't that both of them were just bad. Selena's only had a second batch back. This woman probably has never dealt with Serena Deeb before because Selena's been gone for nearly a year or more. And easily there was going to be some sloppiness. It wasn't that they didn't have chemistry. It was just a bit sloppy. So that was good. And Selena did win. And she's coming after everyone. She already talked about who's going after her. And now, seeing she's here, the question's going to be, will they push her? Remember, guys, as much as anyone saying about Mercedes Moné, you got women on the roster that's got to work with Mercedes. They must be pushed along with Mercedes. If Mercedes is the only one pushed, like what happened with Ruby Soho, Saraya, at one point for a little tiny bit while, Athena, we have Mercedes Moné getting pushed, just like them, and then she reaches a point, hits here, and then because they don't know what to do with her, and then they don't push any of the other women to make her look good so she would have challengers. I'm just saying. I do not want to, I'm hoping she doesn't go to AEW. They already say she is, but I wish she wouldn't. Go to TNA. At least even if the roster's small, at least they make you feel important. Here it's still a big smudge. It's a mess. Moving on. All right. Swerve Strickland. We only got one more segment after this and the last match. But let's get to Swerve. What did I tell you? What did I say here? What did I say he would act like? Now, mind you, as I've said multiple times, pro wrestling has stereotypes. And what did we get from Swerve? He didn't act like he was innocent when he talked about, I'm here. And he did say, you know what this is this month? Black History Month. And we got so many people. I want to shout out some people. Shout out the people that on the roster. He shouted out Kofi Kingston. He shouted out Athena. He shouted out, who was the other one he shouted out? Swerve. Ron Simmons. He shouted all those people out. He shouted his girl who really deserves better, and that's Athena. She deserves better. But the point is, he's saying that this is important. And I won't tell you that I have not tried to, I'm not tried to do whatever it took to get it done. I'm not a good man. I have been bad. I've been naughty. I've done some very despicable things. I'm not going to lie about that to get where I need to be. But I'm here. And I don't regret any of it. But I promise you, this is the third match, and this is what it was about. For next week on Dynamite, it's about the third match. And he's going to make it clear that we're going to end this when I beat you and then become the official number one contender and get that shot. There will be no more questions. And then Prince Nana was questioned by Tony Schiavone saying, so what do you think about this? And Nana says, my boy's going to do great, and I'm going to be there exactly by his side. And then he took the mic and he said, you know Mogul Phillips is family. He said, yeah. You know Mogul Phillips mean everything. Yeah. You know I see you. I see. He didn't say it like that, but I see you. So don't screw around. Don't interfere. He says it openly. He doesn't want any questions. And Prince Nana's going, he did not like that. He knows that the best way to make it work is to interfere. And Prince Nana did not like that, but Swerve made it very clear, do not interfere. It doesn't mean Swerve's a face now. It just means Swerve just doesn't want any controversy. He wants to prove that he's that damn good. So that's going to be a bit of a question. How much is Nana going to interfere with either the Molo affiliates? How many are they going to, what they're going to do? That's going to be the question. Second to last, my taste is Tony Storm talking about Deonna Purrazzo. How dare you? Yeah. Doesn't even pay any attention to Mariah May, who wanted her to watch her match. He says, every match is the same. You've seen one, you've seen them all. But she says she's coming for Deonna Purrazzo. She's going to see her. She's going to sniff her. She's going to touch her, and then she's going to bite her. Let's make this very clear. Is that funny? Yes, it is. Do you think something interesting when you see her go, I'm going to eat you? I'm sorry. It just sounds implied. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be a dirty old man, but it sounds implied. What would you think? But I will say that this is some of the best work she's done. I love it. I love her style. Not everyone likes it. Fine. I'm enjoying it because not only they're still doing black and white, she's still taking the style from one of the older types of actresses, not actors, because they want to be exactly the same. What is the problem of being differentiating men as actors and women as actresses? There's nothing wrong with them. You're still acting. The only difference is your sex. There's nothing wrong with differentiating them. It shows real diversity. It does. Let's move on to the final match. We got Christian, Nick Wayne, and Killswitch. I wish he was Luchasaurus. But you get what we get. And we got FTR and Garcia. They're doing something with Garcia. Do I believe it's great work? I don't know yet. But I am very confused why FTR is in the trios instead of being in tag team. I don't understand. I don't know. I don't understand why FTR is not in the tag division and now they're working trios with Garcia where they never had any direct connection before. But since Garcia is working with Daddy Magic Namaj and he's mainly doing just commentary, I don't know if he's injured or not, but on commentary, he's fun. He has a great voice. He does good commentary. He does good color commentary. So I can understand why they stuck him there. I wouldn't mind him. He stopped wrestling for a while and just did just commentary if he was injured. But when you see this, you wonder, why is FTR doing trios and why is Garcia working with them? Is it a good thing? Well, with the ranking system, that's a big ass mess. I've seen the original. I didn't check if they did the updated stats yet and did they correct how they slotted the stacks, because guys, it's so sloppy. You can't tell who's going for who. You can't tell if Christian is having 4 guys there or just 1. You can't tell because it's not divided. It's that messy. But I will tell you, at least they got the stats for the ranking again, but they got to straighten that damn thing out. Whoever made that is a 5-year-old child. And they should have used actual stats from like football, baseball, basketball. Why did you do stats that is so simplistic? It makes no sense. You think people are not sports fans? Now, the match was fine. But then we see Garcia winning. And then staring a hole through a Christian Cage, and Christian Cage staring a hole through him. So is that the next person before we even get between him and Adam? Probably. It doesn't mean it's bad. But I will tell you this. Seeing Garcia getting this opportunity does make sense, but I don't know if FTR is required for it. Or they just don't have enough bodies to fill in the trios. They don't even have enough bodies to do the tag division. And now they're taking a tag team and adding them to the trios. Unless FTR is going to do double work, and they're not. They need more people in the tag division as much as they need in the trios. I would rather keep the trios title on Collision. Keep the tag titles on Dynamite. You need to start differentiating this mess. Because as it stands, you got such a huge smosh of shit. They need to combine the trios titles with the 6-man tag from ROH so they can just really consolidate their work. It's just sloppy, but it's just me. Peace.